Friends, let's study today the workability of LC. Now, what is workability actually? It means the LC should be capable of being honored by presentation of documents. Remember this, documents, and not dependent on any other factor. Means only the documents which are being asked under that LC, that should suffice the purpose of that LC. It should not be dependent on any other factor. Now these factors are discussed separately in the other videos, but example like pro forma invoice, which is not a part of the LC, or some stamping from the applicant, which is not a part of the LC, that means workability. Means only these much documents, XYZ documents presented, they must suffice the purpose of that LC. That is the meaning of workability. Now how can this be achieved? 1. Examination of the application form and close liaison with the applicant. When the applicant gives the LC application, we must discuss in details what all problems might arise at the initial stage itself. This will prevent 1,000 problems ahead. Remember this. Banks should discourage any attempt by the applicant to include excessive details of the goods description. Remember, applicant will try to make as much detailed goods description as possible, but you have to be succinct in that. So it can be the goods description are as per the pro forma invoice number so and so, dated so and so. That is also allowed in any LC, because the applicant many a times tries to give the goods description which goes in pages, which is not required at all. So we must discourage any excessive detail, because that would create further problems in the LC. UCP 600 sub article 4, it states that it should not include unnecessary documentation. Means to include copies of other documents in the credit itself, like pro forma invoice, etc. Conditions of the documentary credit means if there are any document conditions which are non-documentary, then such conditions need to be discussed with the applicant and removed, because as per UCP 600 sub article 14H, it also states the same thing, that not any condition without a document being required to fulfill it needs to be disregarded and removed by the bank. So any non-doc condition, kindly remove it by discussing with the applicant. Next problem comes as ambiguity to the issuers of the documents. Like example, certificate of origin. Now who is to issue it? If applicant doesn't give anything, even the beneficiary can issue the certificate of origin. So the applicant has to clearly state the certificate of origin needs to be issued by either Beni or the Chamber of Commerce or XYZ party. Similarly for other documents, wage certificate. Now who is to issue the wage certificate? No one knows. So there should not be any ambiguity regarding this. Acceptable clauses regarding the conditions of goods on the transport document. Remember, the transport document like BL may state that if you are importing iron, the transport document may state that the iron may rust. It's not saying it will rust, it says it may rust. So that needs to be accepted by the applicant. We need to discuss this with the applicant in the initial stages itself. Similarly, if you are importing vegetables, they might say that due to weather conditions the vegetables might get destroyed. So that needs to be accepted by the applicant. So this needs to be discussed in the initial stage. Adequacy of insurance cover. You will study a separate video on the insurance cover, like what is the percentage required, who is to issue the insurance copy. All these things are covered in that video. But the important part which we always forget is, if the insurance is to the side of the applicant, then the issuing bank needs to see the evidence that the insurance is covered, or at least receive the applicant's confirmation that adequate insurance will be covered. So this is important part which we always forget when it's on the part of the applicant. So that was it regarding part 1 of workability of LC. You can check this site for CDCS question banks with explanation. Also you can download